Hey Bricks, it's Brickley here, and welcome to episode 23 of Building Mordor in LEGO. And in today's video, I'm going to continue to build the big mountain on the left side of the Black Gate. So the final thing I need to do to finish this up is actually to continue building the rockwork over here, and to make sure that everything is going to be connected with a couple of modular parts. I'm actually going to use tiles for that, so I can actually remove a couple of parts from the rockwork, so I can easily just sort of make sure that I can actually take a look at all of the minifigures inside of the tunnel over there. And in addition to building the rockwork on the left side of the Black Gate, I'm also going to start working on the right side mountain over here as well. So I need to finish, of course, and actually start building the rockwork right over here. And of course, make sure that everything is going to be connected all the way up to, of course, the back over here of the mountain behind the Black Gate. And I'm going to have a little entrance over here into a sort of bigger cave. That also is something quite exciting to look forward to. But yeah, I'm really just going to go and build a lot of rockwork in this episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. And if you haven't seen the previous episode of Building Mordor in LEGO, in which I actually finished building a lot of the landscaping right over here, I highly suggest you go and click the card on the top right corner of the screen to watch that video, so you can see an epic time lapse of that. And of course, if you want to save the playlist to which I manually add all of the episodes of my Building Mordor in LEGO series, I highly suggest you go and click the card on the top right corner of the screen right here to save the playlist. And if you are enjoying my Building Mordor in LEGO series, of course, let me know by leaving a thumbs up to support this video. Go subscribe to Brickley if you are new to my channel. And of course, ring that notification bell to stay updated when I post any LEGO videos. And yeah, let's go ahead and put all of these pieces right here, thousands of LEGO pieces, to some good use within the rockwork of the Black Gate. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start building the rockwork. Yes, you saw my time lapse, and I built a lot of rock work. I'm so happy with all of the rock work I built for my Blackgate mock, and I'm really just astonished by the full scale of everything. I don't know what to say. I mean, I started building around 3 to 4 days ago, so I actually haven't recorded anything else but building the rock work for the past couple of days. And I mean, I'm just astonished. I'm really happy with all of the rock work I created, and it wasn't really without shedding tears and sweat because it was just hard to do. I mean, you can hear it in my voice that I'm happy to record this video right now because I'm actually quite done mentally with building rock work, but I do need to build a lot more. But I just thought I would break it up with, of course, me showing what I've built so far, because you can see that I built a lot of rock work within my Blackgate mock. I built rock work on this side of the Blackgate, the left side, and I gotta say that I'm really happy with that. But we're gonna go and dive into that soon, because right over here, I also built the rock work, which you couldn't see in the previous episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. So everything right over here has been built in this episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. I'm just astonished by my perseverance right over here, because I never thought I would just build this before Christmas. Yes, it's actually the 24th of December. It's, of course, Christmas Eve is going to come around today. But I'm really happy with everything. This is just my little Christmas present to myself. I've built a lot of rock work. I'm also going to show you another angle from right over here. It's just a lot of mountain, and I'm really happy with that. But I'm just going to go and show you everything I've built in, of course, the right order. And I don't even remember which I actually started, so I'm just going to go and show you the right side of the Blackgate first of all. So I'm really happy with this area right over here, because I think it really looks natural with a little bit of the lower rock work right over here, which is sort of sloping into the big mountain, and that's definitely something I wanted to create with the rock work. I'm really happy with that, and I tried to use, of course, a couple of these 1x2 and 1x3 slopes, and not too many, because I really need to use a couple more over here on the top to make sure that everything is gonna slope into the bigger mountain right over here, of course, for my future Minas Morgul project. So that is definitely something to look forward to, and I'm really looking forward to finish the rock work on this side of the Blackgate, because in comparison to the rock work and the mountain on the left side of the Blackgate, is significantly smaller, as you can see. So I'm really happy with the rock work. But one of the key things I wanted to create while building this is actually adding this tower, and this wasn't possible at first because I actually had a lot of landscaping right here, which you could see in the time lapse. I actually broke a lot of landscaping. I had to rebuild that because everything wasn't just sturdy. I couldn't do this. If I did this, if I smashed the landscaping, it would just fall apart like one big part. So I'm just gonna go and we'll show you what I did right here. So I actually broke everything. The sort of landscaping would curve into the dark bluish gray right over here, and all of this wasn't here. It wasn't dark bluish gray, this area. This was light bluish gray, I believe. So I'm really happy that I added the dark bluish gray right here, because this area sort of slopes into the rockwork, and in comparison to the left side of the black gate, which I actually designed back, of course, at the start of building Mordor in LEGO, this is actually an inferior design in my opinion, because it sort of looks like a sort of blocky area. I am going to keep it within my mock because I want to be reminded of my older days when I actually was, of course, starting to build mocks back in, of course, the summer of this year. But yeah, I'm really happy with the sort of sloping effect I created right here with those wedge plates, and I'm really happy that all of those plates came in time, because I actually got this bin right here. Let me show you with the wedge plates, and these are all filled up with wedge plates. I also got a couple of those 2x4 wedge plates laying around somewhere else, but oh, there's a piece falling from the rockwork. Let me pick that up real quick. And yeah, I just got to go and show you what I did with, of course, the wedge plate. So actually right over here, I got the wedge plates curving into the rockwork, and this area right here is a bit lower. I also added a couple of bricks to make sure that everything is sturdy enough. And this area right over here isn't detailed, it's just open, because you're not going to see that. It's just going to go and be covered up by the tower, the foundation of the tower anyways. So I think that really looks neat with the tower over here. The tower is, of course, going to be built pretty soon, because I really want to finish that as well along with the rockwork. But yeah, the tower can fit, and that is one of the most important things of the rockwork, because you could just build a black gate mock without the rockwork, but you gotta include the towers of the black gate. So I really wanted to make sure that everything was gonna fit, so I sort of copied my design on the left side of the black gate, and I'm really happy that everything worked out. I do have a couple of empty spots right here, as you can see, but if I don't really show that in my camera, you can't see it. As you can see right here, I'm just going to go and add the tower, and you can't really see the empty spots right there. It sort of just looks like a sort of, well, area which the orcs sort of removed from the rockwork. So that is definitely something amazing. But I mean, you can see that the tower really is integrated into the rockwork, and that is definitely something I wanted to create. But we're going to go and talk about the rockwork, of course, the main piece of the rockwork, because right now we've actually only taken a look at the bottom. So this is all lower, and this is actually curving into the big mountain right here. So I really like this area right over here. I really like these sort of areas where you have a sort of corner piece, and that's really hard to create within LEGO, to have two multiple angles of rockwork integrate into each other. That's really something difficult, and I'm going to show you that on the left side as well in a moment. But I think this really looks amazing, and I also used a couple of those bigger slope pieces. And over here as well, I also added this entire area, just like that side right there. So this area just is amazing. I got a couple of burr pieces underneath, and I tried to make sure that everything is going to fit with, of course, the plates on the front of the black gate. Also decided to keep this area right over here open, because you could actually see a little part of the higher walls of the black gate. So I'm really happy with that. And over here actually is something pretty exciting, because we got this part of the rockwork which curves over the pathway right here. So this is actually a sort of tunnel right here, and as you can see, I actually left this place open so I can pose up some minifigures inside, and I think that definitely looks great. I mean, I'm gonna add a couple of slopes over here on the top and make sure that I can remove the roof over here, because my first main plan actually was to make everything over here modular, but that's just not gonna work with the pieces I have right now, and I really want to finish the rockwork as soon as possible. But yeah, I'm really happy with everything. I mean, it's a shame that everything isn't going to be that modular as I planned it to be. But I mean, I can still store everything underneath my table if I want to. So that's definitely not going to be a problem. So I'm really happy with that. But I mean, I can pose up some orcs in here. And I think the inside of the little tunnel over here. Really looks nice with a couple of those inverted slow pieces as well. You can't really see it of course, that great with, of course, the blurry vision right now of my camera, but I think it really looks superb. And I definitely need to finish the front of the rock work on this side as well. But yeah, this is the front of the rock work on the right side. I mean, it's really just amazing, and it's going to look a lot better when I've finished this part of the higher wall on both sides, and of course finished building the big tower on the right. Then we're going to go and take a look at the landscaping and the rock work in the back, actually on the left side of the black gate right here. So I actually got a couple of tents which are destroyed. Just gonna go and put them a bit out of sight of the landscaping. So I actually started building in the time lapse, and I actually was just watching Star Wars The Revenge of the Sith while building this. So I actually removed a lot of plates and started putting down a lot of the wedge plates. This isn't actually my definite version of everything, but I'm gonna detail it a lot more after I finished building the rock work and the towers, because those are actually just the final things I need to do for Mordor, and I just want to go and get the bigger things right out of the way. But I also decided to create these. Let me see here, just remove all of this. I also decided to create these troll walkways over here where you can actually have the trolls pushing the gate open. So I think it really came out nicely. I mean, here's the part, of course, on the right side. I actually wanted to add a little bit of dark bluish gray on the bottom over here, and then black over here, and then, of course, on the top as well, some dark bluish gray. I think that really is a nice pattern, and I think this is definitely going to be the definite version of this. I don't want to put too much detail over here into these sort of walkways because, I mean, they're just part of the black gate, and I don't think they really look that detailed in the movie anyways. So I think that this definitely looks great. I mean, I could add a couple of sort of pieces on the sides with, of course, studs on the side, so I can actually add a little bit of detailing. But yeah, that all depends whether or not I'm going to have enough pieces left over from the rock work and, of course, the landscaping. So it all depends on that. I mean, I got to also create some landscaping over here in the front of the black gate as well. So that's definitely something I need to keep in mind while, of course, detailing this in the future. But this is actually a pretty hard structure to recreate in LEGO. I used a lot of these sort of corner pieces with the pins, and these are actually really useful. But yeah, I really just sort of pushed this and procrastinated on building this for a long time. I actually wanted to do this a little while ago, but I didn't have the wedge plate, so I really just procrastinated on buying them. But yeah, this area right here sort of looks a little bit weird in my opinion, but I think it works. I mean, it's pretty sturdy. I can just put my finger on it, and I can pose up some minifigures on it as well. So the walkway is functional. That's definitely something amazing. But yeah, I sort of tried to create this sort of curve in the corner right here, and I think it came out pretty nicely. I just mirrored the design on both the left and right, and I think it really looks superb. But one of the most important things of the rock work and, of course, these walkways actually is actually that it is functional and that it works within my mock. So this rock work right here sort of is ending right here, and I wanted to have a little bit of an area to add the stairs over here, so everything just fits in place perfectly within my mock. But yeah, the main function of this walkway actually is that I can open the black gates. I'm just gonna go and push this lever. You can see this sort of lever really just fits perfectly on the walkway with the troll, so that's definitely something amazing. So I can just push it open, and the black gate will be opened to have a big force of Mordor orcs marching out. Now this walkway on the left is actually integrated into the landscaping over here, so I can't really remove it that easily without, of course, removing the entire black gate to put it back on my mock. So that is why I'm not going to remove that, and I can easily just remove these pieces right here. So when I'm going to transport my black gate, they won't get destroyed by, of course, me picking everything up. But yeah, I think the walkways really look amazing. I mean, I really procrastinated on building that, And I thought it would be fair to give you this entire structure right here within this episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. I mean, I had to work on the landscaping anyways, and I sort of just had an impulsive idea to just work on these structures. I mean, it really looks superb from this area right here. You can see the walkway, so that's definitely gonna look amazing with the trolls on top of there. And I really hope that my trolls are actually gonna come in soon. I have 2 of these trolls right here, and I just hope that the trolls are gonna arrive soon so I can use those within, of course, my Blackgate mock, because I really look forward to setting that up. But yeah, that's the walkways. Now we're gonna take a look at the rockwork on the left side of the Blackgate, behind the Blackgate. Actually, of course, this is the right side in front, but I really tried to detail this as much as possible, but it was quite hard to do, actually. I'm just gonna go and tell you why. You might see it, but I used burr pieces right over here and one right here, and that all throughout over here. But I had a little difficulty building this right here because this actually was a corner piece, and corner pieces are really hard to build. I'm going to show you why right over here in the back. Actually, you need to use other pieces than the burr pieces, of course. And I also had to deal with an area without burr pieces. So all of these pieces are just the slopes, which you can see actually on the outside. So if I push on this, it's definitely gonna break, but I actually sort of stabilized that with these pieces over here on the top. So when I'm gonna add some pieces right here and some slopes on top of that, this won't break that easily anymore. But I mean, I can't really just push my fist against it, because that's just gonna go and explode, and it's gonna be a waterfall of dark bluish gray slopes. But even though it isn't really structurally strong, I think it really looks superb. I mean, I sort of create this curve right here, and then it sort of curves off into a bigger part of the mountain, and that's what I wanted to create, because you gotta imagine, there's gonna be rock work right over here as well, with Minas Morgul right over there, actually, and Kirith Ungol, Shelob's lair, everything right over there. And I really wanted to create this area so I can actually have it connected to the rockwork right here. So normally you actually see LEGO mock builders sort of putting a lot of regular black bricks on the sides of their mock. But I simply can't do that, because my mock is going to continue this way, and of course that way right there, because I'm going to use all of those areas to connect to my other LEGO The Lord of the Rings mocks in the future. So that is also why I left all of these areas open on the sides of the Blackgate mock, because I'm not ashamed of showing all of the interior and of course all of the ugly structuring parts. I mean, I think it's quite a fun thing to see, actually, to see all of those blue parts and just mixed color parts. I mean, I am gonna sort of make sure that you can't see it, but it's not a priority now, because I just want to build the main things of my mock, and I think that definitely just looks amazing. I mean, I didn't think this would be possible on this scale, building this Blackgate. When I actually started planning building the Blackgate in LEGO, I actually started planning, and I just wanted to build a small Blackgate with a little bit of rock work so I could actually put it on my shelf. I never intended for this mock to be an entire table big. But yeah, it sort of happened, and I actually just wanted to build a lot. And I'm really happy with all of your support. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to sort of, just push myself through building this, because I just really love building this for all of you. But yeah, I'm going to go and get back to talking about the mock, of course. So this area right over here also has a sort of tunnel right there. So these tunnels actually sort of end up together. So I have an orc walkway right over here, and then also over here, so the orcs can just walk around and guard the Blackgate, even go into the towers as well. That is definitely something amazing. I used a couple of those pieces right here, just some regular bricks, and I'm going to continue building this rock work in the future, because right now I just wanted to show you everything I built. But yeah, that's the rock work on the right side of the Blackgate. And I mean, I really think it looks superb. One thing I forgot to mention is that I added the these panels on the back of the black gate actually, and I'm really happy with them. I mean, they really look amazing. I added a couple of those black slope pieces as well. I really wanted to sort of make this sort of pattern possible on this side, and I think it really looks superb. I mean, it adds a lot of detailing to the black gate wall over here. And this area right here actually looks quite empty. Well, that's actually because I want to add a couple of plates right here, which are going to curve around this wall, so I can also add a couple of parts right here. So everything is going to be detailed. Don't worry about that. Everything is planned right here. So yeah, that was actually everything on the right side of the black gate. Right now, we're going to go and take a look at the left side of the black gate. So as usual, we're going to go and start in the front. So I actually continued building this area right over here. Of course, this area was actually already built. So everything on the right side actually wasn't built before this episode of building Mordor in LEGO. Now you gotta imagine, I built all of this within this week, and normally this would actually take me 3 weeks to build, but I just wanted to finish all of this for you to see because I'm really happy with just showing you all of my progress. I think it's just superb to build Mordor. But yeah, this side over here I also continued building. So right about this area wasn't added. Actually, all of these pieces right here weren't added, and the rock work actually ended right around here before this episode of building Mordor in LEGO. So this entire part right here, which is sloping into the big mountain, actually was added in this episode of building Mordor in LEGO, and I think it's really accurate to the movie. You could see a lot of rock work sloping into the big mountain right over here, and I think I really created that slope over here. So you can see a sort of slope right there curving into the mountain. I think that definitely looks great. If I'm gonna go and grab this tower piece right here, it actually fits in perfectly right over here. Just gonna go and put it in its position, so you can see that it really fits well within the sort of hole I created here, and I'm really happy with that. That's definitely something important for when you're building a black gate mock, that the towers are gonna fit. And this area right over here, actually, as I said over there on that side as well, was really difficult to create. I mean, I had a lot of empty spaces right here, and I believe a couple of these pieces right here on this side actually don't have support behind them, so if I bump my fist into it, it will just break, and again, there's going to be a waterfall of dark bluish gray pieces. But yeah, I'm really happy with the amount of detail I added. I also started to intentionally leave a couple of studs open to see, so also these pieces aren't going to be covered up, because I think that really adds to the natural feeling of this LEGO mock. And from this side over here, from this point of view, you can't even see the studs, so I think it just looks superb. I mean, it's really just looking amazing, and I'm really fond of this area right over here. I think it really looks superb, and it really looks natural over here with this sort of gap over here between the slopes. I added a lot of these 1x2 by 3 height slopes, of course, the 1x2 by 3 height inverted slopes, and I also made this sort of wall section right over here, so it sort of curves into the rock work, which I actually didn't do on this side of the rock work, so it sort of looks a little bit more random on both sides instead of mirrored, and I think that definitely looks great. But yeah, over here actually on this side also is a tunnel with a torch inside. Over here also looks superb. And I actually got a roof on top of the tunnel right over here. Just going to go and show you right here. I can actually remove this. So this is a modular part right here. Well, Brickley, why did you use these wedge plates? Well, I ran out of other plates, so I had to use these. That's just the main reason why I used those. So yeah, I'm really wasting some important parts over here, but yeah, never mind, I really needed them. So yeah, you can see inside of the tunnel with a couple of those sort of inverted slopes. I got regular slopes and such, so this tunnel really looks just superb and with a lot of detailing inside. I think that's definitely something important. You can also see a wedge plate over here on the wall. That was actually to cover up a yellow piece which I couldn't remove anymore after building the rock work and such. But yeah, this is the entire section in front of the black gate. I mean, we got the entire section over here on, of course, the side of the wall, actually in front of the wall, which curves over this tunnel. We got this section right here behind the tower. So this actually over here isn't going to be visible from this point of view. But if I'm going to show the black gate from this point of view, you can still see the rockwork right over there actually. So that is why it's important to really build some rockwork behind the towers as well. So yeah, that's why I actually decided to do that. But yeah, I'm really happy with the tunnels over here on both sides. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the tunnels. I mean, I think they really add a couple of special features to the Blackgate MOC. That's just those little details which you add to your LEGO MOCs. I think they really look superb, and I really think it's just sort of a cozy little space within my MOC. I sort of still like to set up minifigures, and if I'm gonna be honest, I still like playing with my minifigures. I mean, every LEGO collector likes setting up a battle and sort of chanting all of the lines from the movie and setting up some archers to shoot the army of Rohan and Gondor, be of course in the middle of this battlefield. So yeah, I really like setting up minifigures, and I think it's definitely gonna look great with those little tunnels on both sides. I never even sort of thought I would be able to create this much rock work. As I said before, I didn't plan on building this much in this episode, but I just wanted to continue building, and I'm really happy with everything I built. But yeah, you saw the front of the left side of the mountain over here. Now we're gonna go and take a look at the back actually. And oh my god, this looks superb. This area right here is even more unstable in comparison to that area right there. Because if I'm gonna go and do this, it's just gonna go and break. So it didn't break right now. I'm really lucky that it didn't break. But actually right here, you can see the main reason actually. I don't have any other support pieces right here. You can't really see it right now, but this is just the same as this area right over here actually. You can see these slope pieces actually, the behind of the slope pieces. Well, that's actually the same on this side, but it continues from all the way right over here on the bottom to right over here. So these pieces right here, these slope pieces actually keep it intact. So that is actually the main reason why everything is so unstable. These pieces right here, you can see they can just move. And I'm not going to move them too much because everything can just break really easily. But yeah, this area right here is a sort of curve, and I really like that. I mean, it definitely looks great, and I didn't add a lot of these sort of snot techniques to my rock work. I'm not going to be able to add more of these, unfortunately, because I'm actually running low on these 1x3 by 1x and actually 1x2 slopes. Well, why aren't you going to build more of those, and why don't you order more parts? Well, I just want to finish the rock work of the Blackgate with the pieces I have within my LEGO The Lord of the Rings part collection right now. I actually already needed to sort of rob my Minas Morgul collection, so all of these pieces I actually wanted to use for Minas Morgul. Well, right now I actually need to use all of these pieces for behind the rock work. So that's really a shame, but I don't want to wait for any more pieces. I just want to continue building and finish the rock work. So that is why I'm going to go and use a lot of these pieces. Got a ton more, actually got thousands more pieces laying around in some other bins underneath my other table right there. But yeah, I'm just gonna need a lot of pieces for finishing the rock work. I'm gonna show you that in a second after I've of course shown you this area. So this area right over here is actually pretty much the same. It still needs to be a little higher over here as well. So I'm definitely gonna work on that in the future. But yeah, this area actually has a lot of progress. I mean, this area right here was also sort of raised until this, but this area right over here, from right about here, and this was actually a giant gap, so I filled that area up entirely. I mean, you can see a lot of detailing, and I really also like this area right here. I think it really looks superb with a sort of sloping effect into a bigger mountain right here. So it's a sort of steep mountain, then a little break, then again steep, and that's definitely going to look amazing. So the mountain is definitely going to be huge, and I really look forward to seeing that end result. But right now, I'm actually just gonna go and show you the inside of the mountain. So I added a lot of pieces over here in the back. You can see that I still have these slopes right here, and of course the plates and such. But I also got a lot of new pieces which I used. So a lot of colored pieces actually, and I actually had to take apart my second Lego SpongeBob over here. Actually, I got my sort of Lego SpongeBob over there from the Lego SpongeBob line. But I actually had this bag right here, and right now it's actually pretty empty with a couple of pieces which aren't really that useful for building and continuing building the rockwork. But yeah, I had to take apart that entire SpongeBob. So yeah, one day in my life, I'm gonna go and rebuy all of those parts so I can actually build my second SpongeBob, the big Lego SpongeBob fig. But right now, I need those pieces for the continuation of building the rockwork of my Blackgate MOC. So yeah, this was actually everything I've built in this episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. I'm really just gonna say, honestly, I never expected this. I mean, it's so huge, and you can see this scale is just enormous. This is almost my upper body right here. So that is actually just enormous. I think it's just a huge part of my MOC, and well, you can say, well, Brickley, just quit building the rockwork right now. It looks superb. Just quit, build the towers, and throw the finale on YouTube. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue to build the rockwork of Building Mordor in LEGO. And I'm really happy with everything we've built so far. I mean, you got a lot of rockwork over here on the right side of the Blackgate, rockwork on the left side of the Blackgate, which is almost finished. Thank God. And I mean, while building this, I actually watched a lot of movies. And I was just building and watching. I really built fast, in my opinion, anyways. I built all of this within 4 days. Yes, I started this week Monday, and right now it's Friday, actually. So yeah, that says a lot. I mean, I built a lot of Lego. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. I mean, this entire section right over here on the right, actually, is the section I started with. And I mean, I really dreaded that because I had to start from the bottom to up right here. So all of this was just empty right here, as you could see at the beginning of this episode. So I can say that I finally accomplished one of my main goals for Building Mordor in LEGO. I created rockwork on the left side of the Blackgate. And I gotta say that it was really hard to do because I actually have my chair right here. I had to sit down a couple of times because my legs were just destroyed, because I usually stand here and I built the rockwork for 5 hours straight, and I actually had 4 days where I actually built for like 10 hours a day. So I actually was 10 hours within this Lego room. And you might see over here that my window isn't actually open, so I don't have any natural light coming into this Lego room, which is sort of depressing sometimes, actually. Well, of course, I'm watching the Lord of the Rings and, of course, Star Wars movies, which really make me happy, but yeah, I'm really just sometimes I just need to sit down, sit back, and just take a look at everything, and then I immediately get motivated because I can see the end result of this MOC. I just see big mountains over there, big mountains on this side. I see the towers, then I also see Barad-dûr over here in the back of the landscaping. I see the entire Morgul Valley over here as well. So I already see the entirety of Mordor in my mind. I just gotta go and put my imagination into real life, and that's what I'm doing right now. I got a ton of rockwork on the left side, and let me know in the comment section down below if you got surprised by the fact that I built so much rockwork in this episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. I really would like to hear if you were surprised by the gigantic scale so far of my Blackgate MOC, because I really wanted to show you a lot of building in this episode. I usually don't build this much of the rockwork and, of course, course, the landscaping within an episode, but I really wanted to surprise every single one of you with this enormous part of the landscaping and rock work. If you did enjoy this video, let me know by leaving a like. Of course, go subscribe to join hashtag Team Brickley, and of course, ring that notification bell to stay updated on when I post any LEGO videos. And I'll see you all in episode 24 of Building Mordor in LEGO.
It's in the air like a blazing flare.